Hey folks, thanks for joining me in another video. Today I'll be showing you my latest EDC update. It's November of 2013, and this little assortment that you see before you is just about what I've been carrying fairly regularly lately. Some of you, at least if you haven't been keeping up with my Instagram account and you've just been watching my YouTube videos, there's probably going to be some pretty big changes here. So I am pleased to finally bring you another update. Typically my EDC updates are few and far between because things just don't change that often, and I'm really happy to show some items that have changed significantly since the last video. So I'll go ahead and jump right into things here. I've got a few things off camera that I'll bring on, a couple little variations that I'll show you. But this is my basic assortment that I'll carry with me at any given time. Up in the top left here, this is my Cold Steel Inferno pepper spray. Nothing changes about this. It's the same as always. It's the smaller pocket-sized spray. It's got a pocket clip and a little safety switch on there. I keep that on a size 3 stainless finish Nite Ize S-Biner. That gets clipped to my back left pocket, my belt loop, above my back left pocket, I should say. Down here in the bottom left is the Leatherman Mini-Tool. This is something that I'm very pleased to now have in my possession. This is a multi-tool that I've had my eye on for a really long time. I've actually been looking at these online for well over a year, and for one reason or another I just couldn't decide when to actually buy one. I watched right when I got interested in them, and this always happens. Some of you probably know what I'm feeling. As soon as I started getting interested in these, I watched the prices on them jump up and up and up online, on knife and multi-tool forums, and also on eBay, of course. This item is discontinued, so the Mini-Tool is no longer made. I think this one went out of production in the early 2000s, and it's a great tool. This is very similar to a lot of Leatherman's other stainless steel Leathermans. This is going to look pretty small to most of you, but it hides a neat little trick to it. So you fold it out and you've got these little mini pliers, and at first glance you might think that's all there is to it, but there's actually a couple little thumb hooks or nail nicks on the sides. You fold these segments out and you now have a full-size pair of pliers. Now they're not the most comfortable pair, as similar to Leatherman's other older stainless steel offerings. They've got these sort of sharp, thin machined edges, so you probably wouldn't want to do a ton of plier work or something that you had to use a lot of pressure often. But in a pinch, which to me is, I carry my multi-tools as sort of an emergency toolbox, something that's got the basics in it, the essentials when you might need it. If you've got to turn a bolt on your radiator, or you've got to loosen a screw or something like that, that's where a multi-tool comes in handy for me. I'm not using this all day long at work or anything. There are some folks who do, but for them I would recommend another tool. For those of us that just use multi-tools for occasional use, something like this can come in handy quite a bit. So anyways, it does fold out into a full-size set of pliers. You have the usual wire cutters in the center there, and some nice needle nose tipped pliers. And then also in these little fold-out segments, if you fold them back into the handle, you've got a little knife blade, a little clip point knife blade on one end. And then on the other side, let me show one other thing. When it's folded out, you also have a can opener on one side. And then on the other handle, you have sort of a combo. Let me fish them out of there. Actually, let me fold that into the handle first. That would help. Fish that out. That is a file and also a medium-sized slotted screwdriver, a little flathead driver. That's pretty slick. And then also on this handle, similar to the other side, you also have a cap lifter or bottle opener. Now, what I've been using to carry this, originally I was just putting this straight down in my pocket, letting it sit at the bottom. But right around the same time that I picked this up, I actually received one of these little suspension clips. Now when I bought this, I didn't realize that there actually is an official version of this clip. I guess you could say that this is a knockoff. But I had seen these online, and I didn't know that there was, a particular brand. And in fact, I think the original is Tech Accessories, and it's their P7 suspension clip. And this one is a little off-brand of it, KSI. I'm not really sure who that brand is, but I found these on eBay. And at the time I was just picking these out, and I went for the cheapest one that I could find. So if you are looking for one of these little clips, they do work pretty well. It's just a simple little stainless steel clip, and it clips onto the edge of your pocket, and then whatever you're carrying dangles down into your pocket so that it's not, you know, bunched up at the bottom. So it's a neat little device. There's actually if you go look online, this is not the only version of this type of clip. There are just dozens and dozens and dozens of suspension clips. I guess they originated from pocket watch clips, something to clip your pocket watch into the corner of your pocket. And so they've sort of evolved from there. So for anyone that thinks that that might be a useful item, go online and look up dangler, pocket dangler, or pocket suspension clip, and you will just find all sorts of different designs, different materials, different sizes. A lot of them have extra little gadgets connected to them, bottle openers, pry bar screwdrivers, extra little added holes so you can layer the things that hang in your pocket. All sorts of great options out there. So this is my multi-tool that I've been carrying. The one thing that this does not have that I do like to have on me is a Phillips driver. So that's one downside. That's a pretty standard tool that this does not include. But as far as the other things that are on here, I think the pliers, the flat blade, screwdriver, and you know, the openers and the knife blade are going to come in handy. I think that that's, you know, covers most of the basics for most folks. But if you are looking at that, if you are interested, keep in mind it doesn't have that Phillips driver. My knife that I have here is the Emerson Mini Commander. This was purchased from a friend of mine online, Swiss Army Zippo, which many of you know from here on YouTube, and he gave me a really nice price on this. For whatever reason, for years and years, I never really carried an Emerson. I didn't really care for their designs, and then just over the last several months, it just kind of hit me that I was really interested in their designs, and that's pretty much how knife enthusiasts are. You know, you'll kind of shy away from a certain design or a certain brand for a long time, and then all of a sudden, the utility of it, the usefulness of it, or maybe just the interesting designs that they carry will all of a sudden spark an interest, and you just, nothing will do until you get your hands on one of their designs. And so Swiss Army Zippo was letting this knife go at a great price, and it was at the right time. I was kind of at my peak of interest with Emerson's designs, and I said, you know what, this is the perfect time, the perfect model to sort of dip my toes into the shallow end of the pool of Emerson knives and see what they've got going on. And I couldn't be more pleased. I really like this design. I think this is a great knife. I think it's a great hard use knife. I think this would be perfect for you know, outdoors use, hiking, camping, that sort of thing. I won't talk about its tactical use. I'm sure that it would be perfectly fine in that type of situation, but it's just not anything I carry it for. So for the things that I use it for, right now it's being used as a work knife. It's been absolutely perfect. It's been working great. The only issue that I have with it is one that I've actually noticed that you can resolve pretty easily, and that is the Emerson Wave. If any of you saw the video where I opened the package up on this when I got it in the mail, I mentioned that I wasn't sure how I was going to get along with that Emerson Wave feature. And it's not too bad. If you want one of their designs but you're worried that it's going to catch on your pocket every time as you pull it out, I'll tell you right here, it almost always is. Unless you are being very conscious of removing this from your pocket and preventing that from snagging, it's very likely that it's going to catch more often than not. And so what I do when I reach into my pocket, this is clipped in, I'll just simply reach in and put my finger against the blade. So I just kind of touch a finger against the blade and withdraw it from my pocket, and that ensures that even if this does grab a little bit of the edge of my pocket, it's not going to pry the knife open as it comes up and out. So hasn't really been a big deal. Ideally, I don't really care for that little piece, and I still may have it removed, or I may remove it myself, but you know, I don't want to really alter the knife at this point. I'm still kind of new with it, and you know, who knows, maybe somewhere down the line I will like that feature, but for right now I don't really care for it. I like to open my knives deliberately on my own once they're out of my pocket. This is the newer 2013 design, which I have since learned is these previously used to have a back spacer along the spine of the handle there, and this one just uses these little standoffs, the little columns there. So it's a little bit more open, a little bit easier to clean, a little bit easier to blow it out. Zoom in on the blade a little bit real quick and show you the info there. You can see it shows the year 2013 and M-COM, made in USA. That's the model. This is a chisel grind, so it's only sharpened on one side. Makes it easy to sharpen, or at least makes it fast to sharpen. And it locks up great, works great, so I've been really happy with that. While I'm talking about knives, I'm going to bring in one other knife that I just got recently, but you might have seen in, I think, the video previous to this one, and that is the Zero Tolerance 0350. This was bought from a friend on Instagram. His screen name is GMRPNK21. Great guy, very friendly, very nice. He also gave me a really good deal on this knife. And I've also been carrying this knife at work. So for anyone that's watching this may happen to be a surveyor, probably when it comes to surveying, a lot of times what you're going to be using your knife for is cleaning off survey lath. Just sort of using your knife as an eraser on those wooden stakes. And that is where a recurve, really, as long as you keep it well sharpened, a recurve is probably your best friend. It's got sort of that bulge, that sort of bulbous curve to the end of the blade, and that just works beautifully for sort of chiseling, sort of scooping out wood. It makes quick, smooth spoon kind of slices, and the shape just works perfectly for what I've been using it for. So both of these knives, as you see, have a recurve blade, which is that the blade sort of pops out as it comes out towards the tip. There's that little bulge, and then it sweeps back in towards the handle. But that little curve or bump at the end of the blade just works so wonderfully for slicing wood. You can see that the coating on this one, as I've been using it at work, has been kind of taking a beating. This has taken a good bit of work. It's gone through some cardboard, it's gone through a lot of wood, a lot of flagging, so if you get this, don't expect the coating to come off right away. It's actually holding up pretty well, but it is coming away. Also, as I use my Spyderco Sharp Maker, it's sort of wearing off at the base of the blade there. But other than that, it's been holding up pretty darn good. Great hard use knife. Again, this would make an excellent outdoor knife. Camping, hiking, you know, using it around the workshop. I think that this would be a good choice. It's a good, stout, strong blade. Like I always like to say, I'm not carrying these at the same time. These are just knives I'm sort of cycling through. And I'm not even going to bring in all my other knives I've been carrying lately. It's just on a whim, even halfway through the day I may switch out my knife and carry something else. But those two, since they're new, they've been getting a lot of pocket time, as folks tend to say. This right here is the flashlight I've been carrying most often, mostly at work, because I had an Olight T10, some of you might remember from some of my older videos. That light went belly up on me. It broke. It was shorting out or something. The light was coming on and off intermittently. Now, I contacted Olight, and they said to return it to the seller, so I did, and that was actually an eBay seller. And the eBay seller has had it in their possession for over a month. I've had no contact from them. I don't know if they're trying to ice me out or what, but they have said nothing. I've sent them 3 messages. I'm really hoping that they come through and send me some sort of flashlight back, even if they just give up and send me my broken flashlight. I mean, that'd be better than getting nothing in return. Been pretty disappointed about that, but in the meantime, I've been carrying the Lumapower EDC LM21. This is a single AAA cell flashlight. It's got 3 brightness settings. Now the battery in here is kind of dying, and I'm just sort of letting it run its course, so this might, it's going to look probably pretty dull on camera. It starts out in low, and then you click, and then quickly click again to go to medium, and then again a third time to go to high. On high, I think it's right around 100 lumens, so pretty darn bright for a AAA, and like the Streamlight Micro Stream, I really like that it has that clicky button. I think I may have mentioned in the past, I may have made a few small complaints about the sort of the, I don't know, the little switch at the back here doesn't seem very rugged. It sticks out really far from the flashlight itself, and then as you can kind of see, I'll sort of see it's just sort of mushy. I would have some concern, especially if you're carrying other things in the same pocket as this light, that may tear or become abraded and become worn or split. I was a little disappointed also that Lumapower does not include an additional tail cap boot, that little rubber piece, so that you can replace that if that gets worn. I'm not sure if that's covered under warranty. I don't even remember how long their warranty is good for. So if that goes south on you, I'm not sure what your options are. It's the one and only thing I don't really care for on this light, and I actually do like the shorter and tougher boot switch that's on the Streamlight Micro Stream, because that one sits a lot more recessed in the light, so it's a little bit harder to push, and it seems like it's a little bit harder to get it, you know, for it to become damaged by getting abraded or cut along the side of it. But in spite of my complaints, it actually has been holding up. There's no rips or tears in it yet. I only keep the light in the same pocket as my knife, and it sits kind of by itself, so I'm not sure that it's ever really going to be a problem, but it's just something that I've noticed compared to all my other flashlights. I would have liked to have seen something a little bit shallower, maybe a little bit stronger, a little bit tougher. And but other than that, it's a great light. I'm really happy with it. If you're looking for a clicky, that is the little button AAA, definitely give this one a try. I'll run you about 25 to 30 bucks online. That probably includes shipping. It's got a little pocket clip, a little bit thin, not too shabby. Good little light though. and perfect for just general EDC use. If you want to head out in the great outdoors, I'd pick something with a little bit more power, maybe with an added cell or a larger cell, something like a CR123 or maybe a 2 AA kind of configuration. But for general use around the house, walking around at night, it's a great little light. My keys have changed a little bit. Now, many of you have seen the EOD Robotics micro Widgy bar that I carry on here. This is probably my favorite pry bar. I've got many different little pry tools now, and this is probably still my absolute favorite, just because there's no bells and whistles to it. There's no bottle openers. There's no nothing. It's just a pry bar. It's got that nice little bend. It's tough as nails. I've had it for, I believe, well over a year, maybe almost going on 2 years. This thing's a champ, and I'm almost kind of interested in buying another just so I have a spare in case I ever lose this one. The ubiquitous Swiss Tech Utilikey is on my keys as always. I was actually just using the Phillips driver in here the other day, and the blade, in fact. I was at a diner with my family. It was my niece's birthday, and they have the waiters, the wait staff comes around and they do silly stuff. They engage all the customers in different games, and they throw straws. And so they had thrown a bunch of straws onto the table for us to play with, and I didn't want to get out my big knife to cut it up. There's a lot of families, a lot of young kids. I just didn't want to spook everybody that was around. So I took out my Utilikey, because that was the only other blade I had on me at the time, and just got out that short little edge. Let me open it so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm sitting here pointing at it, and some of you might not know what I'm saying. But this little fella opens up in the middle, and then you've got a couple little knife edges serrated, and then a plain edge. So I just used that little plain edge to cut through some of the straws so that we could make some new shapes as we were sitting at the table goofing around. So that came in handy. And then this is new. This is Uncle Bill's Sliver Gripper. It's a little mini pair of pliers. I also have a video on this previously from when I got this in the mail. Great little stout pair of tweezers, and there's not really much to them at all. Just very simple, but they've got a nice precise tip. They're great for splinters. If you have a little stray hair or something, they're perfect for that too. You can see it says on there, the tweezers with pinpoint precision. I'd say that's accurate. And I was worried about this little carrier, this little sheath clippy dealy thing that it comes with. You can see there's a little raised portion of steel that catches on that little hole as you click it in. I thought that was going to come off, and I suppose if this little bent portion got compressed really hard in your pocket while you're doing something, that might come off, but I've had no problems, and I'm just absolutely delighted with how well that hangs on my keys. Takes up almost no space, weighs less than a key. Anybody that ever has need of a nice pair of tweezers, definitely just run right out and get a pair of these. Running about anywhere from like $6 to $10. But beautiful little tool, super cool. So those are my main little keychain tools. As usual, I've got them attached to a Lucky Line keyring. This is the Twisty model, connected to 2 size 0 S-Biners from Nite Ize. And then this here has changed. You might have also seen my Carabiner update video from the other day. This is the Leatherman Carabiner. It's also got a little cap lifter or bottle opener at the back. The gate on here is very strong. The tension is excellent. I have no fear that this is ever going to come off my belt loop, which is where I carry this. And probably my only complaint with it so far is it can be a little bit finicky when coming off of your belt loop. It can be a little bit hard to take off, but in my eyes I kind of look at that as a plus, because it means that it's not going anywhere. It's not going to fall off. You also have a little hex wrench at the bottom. So another great little tool, running you about $6. If you're looking for a new carabiner, try that one out. Stainless steel, but not too heavy at all, not too bulky, nice and thin profile. Wallet. This is the, I'm going to try and hurry here because I've seen this video is going on for a really long time. You can see Spider-Man here. This is a Mighty wallet by Dynomighty Design, as you can see there. This is a Tyvek wallet. Some of you may have seen these before. They're very thin. They're actually a paper and plastic sort of composite. This is the same material that you might see in the little shipping plastic mailers you might get from FedEx or USPS Priority, something like that. It's almost the same material. It's a little bit thicker, but they have folded it and glued it into a wallet design. So you've got 2 little card sleeves on the inside of the wallet, and then you've got 2 slots in the back. You can use one for cash and one for receipts. That's what I do. And they print different graphics on them. As you can see here, Spider-Man. There's also, you know, Batman, and then there's some interesting non-licensed models or wallets that have, you know, just like maps of cool cities or skylines, all sorts of weird graphics. If you go to Mighty Wallet, I'm not sure if it's mightywallet.com, but if you look them up online and you check them out, you can actually design your own wallet from them now. and put your own graphics on the outside, which I think is a really cool idea. It's a nice wallet. I don't know that I'll keep this one going forever, and I am really happy with the durability of it. It wears. It's going to wear. You can see it's kind of taking on the shape of the cards that I keep in it. But it's very durable. I have no fear that this wallet is going to tear, you know, or become, you know, too worn to carry my stuff over time. I don't think it's going to get any holes worked in it or anything. But it does look inexpensive. It's not, if you're looking for a classy wallet, the Mighty wallet probably is going to be very far down on your list. I wouldn't put this one at the top. It's just sort of, I mean, it looks, you know, not to knock it because it is a great wallet. It's a cool design, but it looks cheap. I mean, you know, not to put too fine of a point on it there, but it's just really basic. So it's a cool wallet, but I think I kind of want something a little bit classier. But if you go check them out, they do have some cool graphics and great brightly colored designs, and it's a nice wallet. They'll run you about 15 bucks on average. But check them out if you want a thin wallet that's you know, it's a little bit different from all the other stuff that's out there. It's not quite the same thing as the leather and nylon wallets that you usually see. This is an addition to my EDC I've been carrying for a couple months now. This came from a good friend online, and his name is Big Mondo G1 on Instagram. Great guy, super friendly. He's got all sorts of cool gear. He's a EDC knife gear enthusiast guy, and he's got a fantastic collection. Now, he bought me this. It is a Fisher Space pen. This is the bullet model in matte black. I adore this pen, and I probably, a lot of you probably thought I would never say that because in so many of my previous EDC videos I always mentioned I don't need a pen. I don't absolutely need a pen. I'll be honest. I can use my phone to get by. If I need to make a note, if I need to write down something, I can just get out my phone and you know, punch it in there, just sort of text it in or whatever. But a pen can be handy, and this one, the reason that I like it so much and the reason that I will carry this going forward is because it is just impossibly small. It's not much longer than my finger. And it takes up no space. You can find some place on your person to carry this. For those of you who've kind of been feeling like me, like, why carry a pen? This is one of those perfect excuses to buy something cool that works just as well as it's advertised and is just super comfortable to carry, never a problem. Nice curved corners, nothing to catch. There is no clip. It does roll a little bit, so probably my biggest problem with it is that if you put it down on a table, it may sort of migrate on you. You might want to keep your eyes peeled that it doesn't disappear. But other than that, it writes beautifully, and it just takes up no space. And they're fairly inexpensive. They're under 20 bucks. If you need a pen, that gets my highest recommendation. So even though I was previously not a pen guy, I'm definitely going to be carrying that with me from now on. In addition to that pen, I did want a little notebook. I took one of my wife's Moleskine, however you pronounce it. I took one of her little notebooks, and I started carrying this in the same pocket as my wallet, so you can see it's kind of smashed, it's kind of roughed up. It has a few tears in it, and I started patching it first with glow-in-the-dark duct tape and then with some Super Mario duct tape that I got the other day at Target that I thought looked pretty cool. And this notebook, I don't really have a lot written in it. I'm mainly using it at work just for writing down the little numbers, our little measure-ups for our height of instrument or height of backside, just little GPS numbers, control points, that kind of thing. Thin little notebook, doesn't take up too much space, but it is a little bulky, and since I use this so infrequently, I am going to look for something a little bit slimmer. I might even just take out a few sheets of paper and put them in my wallet. I know that's a really common tactic, and I think that it's one that I'm going to join in on because I think this is just a little bit too chunky and I don't need this much paper all the time. But they are classy little notebooks. They do get beat up fast in your pocket though. And finally, still carrying the LG Google Nexus 4 smartphone. Great phone. I have no complaints with it. The Nexus 5 just came out. I might get it, I might not. I haven't decided because I've been having no problems with this phone. But this phone does everything that I need it to and then some. One other little thing I'll bring in from off camera that I want to show is a new flashlight that I had just got recently. Now, I didn't do a video of me opening the package in the mail, but this is the Xeno version 3 E03 flashlight. It's a single AA cell light. I'll open the back here to show you real quick. Ooh, this is going to be a long video. Got just one single AA size and a loop in there. The threads are nice and smooth. They're squared, so it screws on nicely. It's got a glow-in-the-dark tail cap switch, which of course you all know is going to appeal to me. It starts off in medium, and then if you soft click on the tail cap, you go to low next, and then to high. Now the And then let me show you this on this side real quick. Can you see that? See how it's glowing? It's got a cool little glow-in-the-dark O-ring. Let me let it glow for, kind of charge it up for a second. It's got a cool little glow-in-the-dark O-ring on the inside of the bezel. So if you're using your light, maybe you drop it, you've probably got a few seconds that you can kind of scramble around in the dark in the grass and look for that glowing O-ring or even the glowing tail cap. Now nothing charges this up, but if you happen to be using it somewhere near light, it may still have some charge in it. They do glow for a decent amount of time. This one dies a lot quicker than the tail cap, but the tail cap will glow for quite a while. It's a pretty big size compared to you know, some other lights, like just for example this little AAA right here. So it's pretty chunky, quite a bit longer. I love this blue. I forget the name of it. It's like deep sea blue or something like that, but it's almost purple, and it's got these cool little finger grooves in the side you can kind of grip onto there, and then it's got some excellent grippy knurling, but not too aggressive. It's not going to shred your pockets. Beautiful light. I picked this up on sale for $22 and change from a website called wallbuys.com. But their regular, I didn't realize that wasn't their regular price till after I bought it. About 2 days later, I went to check on the website to look up this light again and saw that the price had risen to like 30 some odd dollars. So if you want one of these, try eBay, because there's a couple sellers on there that sell them for under 30. I think they'll run you about 26 bucks or so. So good price. It's a good light so far. I've only had it for just a few short hours, but I really like the design. The look of it is what drew me to it. But it's a good light, and you get a lot of good lumens. I think it's about 100 to 120 lumens on high. But it's an XPG R5 cool white LED, and it looks, even though these are similar in lumens, this one looks a lot brighter if some of you flashlight enthusiasts get what I'm saying with that. Anyway, that's just something else I just got in. This will also be included in my EDC going forward. But there you have it. I think, look over here, yeah, I think I got everything. So that is my basic EDC assortment for November and for the past couple of months here in 2013. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you found it at least entertaining, if not informative, and I will of course be back very soon with another video. I've got some reviews coming. I'm going to have some more collection videos soon, and maybe in a couple more months you'll see another one of these updates. I'll bring in some new stuff. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.